Hello and welcome to the Scotland Rugby News podcast with me, your host, Bruce Aitchison, him, editor extraordinaire, Gavin Harper, but we're joined by Portuguese rugby royalty, the one and the only, Pedro Leal. Hello, sir.
Hi, nice to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Oh, delighted to have you here. So obviously we're in game week, Scotland against Portugal. This is new territory for everybody. What is the feeling at home in Portugal about this game?
It's a big game for us. I think the last time we played was in 2007. I played that game. It was a very good game for us because it was the first time that Portugal played the World Cup, so it was the first game. I was talking now just with a friend that also played with me, and it was the first one ever. So for us, it was amazing atmosphere. I still can't remember when we went in the stadium. The crowd was crazy. A lot of Portuguese everywhere. So it was unbelievable moment for the Portugal rugby at the time.
I'm interested because Portugal football is king. It's the number one game. How aware are the Portuguese public of the progress that Portuguese rugby has made in recent years?
I think it's to be honest, it's tough because as you say, it's all about football here. But so we still I would say 85% are still amateurs. So in 2007, we were almost everyone was amateurs. Nowadays, you still have some guys playing in France professionally, but they are half of the team is still amateurs. So it's still not as good as we wanted as rugby is in Portugal, but they are getting good results and we're playing very very well. So we hope to manage to qualify for the next World Cup. That's the main goal.
And the World Cup experience in France was just incredible, and so many people maybe didn't know about Portuguese rugby before, and then the World Cup comes along and all of a sudden people are talking about Portugal as a rugby country. That must have given everyone great pride.
Yeah, for the clubs it was very good for the union as well. But as I said, we're still amateurs, so it's tough. It's tough for us to compete against teams like Scotland and like USA that we played last week and we lost. We managed to beat them twice in the cup last years, but last week we just lost. So it's going to be a nice game against Scotland, but it's still a big gap between us and you guys. So a lot of players still amateurs, but yeah, after the World Cup was very good for us and for the players, and we play amazing rugby in the World Cup. So you expect a nice game against you guys.
I can remember watching the Georgia game and just wishing you to get over the line, because to beat Fiji was that the best day? Was that the best result in Portuguese history?
For sure, yeah. 15th it was, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and then to go so close against Georgia, the progress from that first game you played in to the World Cup in France is just been amazing to see.
Yeah, it was crazy. The World Cup was really amazing for Portugal. The guys play so well rugby that we tried to play an offense rugby. So I think it was nice to see. I think all the crowd loved Portugal how they played. So yeah, that was the main goal, to entertain the people, the crowd, and I think that's what they did. And yeah, it's the Georgia game was close game, but at the end we managed to beat Fiji. It's amazing result for the Portugal Rugby Union, and yeah, we still remember that game very well.
Pedro, what state is the squad in now? That seemed to be the final fling for a few of the World Cup squads. So has there been much of a change in the squad, or is it largely still those players that were in the World Cup?
I think we have like 10 players that play the World Cup. We're making some renovations, and some players finished playing in the World Cup. Some good players that still playing in France, the professional ones. So I remember the number 9, Samuel Marques. He's still playing in France, but he stopped playing for Portugal. The hooker, number 2, was a very good player. He also stopped playing. So and another 2 props. So yeah, the big players, we lost some key players. The number 10 that played in my club, he stopped. He's making a sabbatical year, so he's not playing this year. So yeah, it's still number 2, number 9, number 10. They are new guys, very new players, young players. So a couple of changes, but yeah, I think we still have the core of the team. It maintains, so that's important for us.
And a new coach as well, is that right?
Yeah, it's a Kiwi guy. It's a very nice guy, but we for the last 4 years, as you know, we were the French coach. He was really good, and I think the team played a lovely game. And now this is a new coach, a Kiwi coach. I think he's doing well, but it's different because again the players are still amateurs. So and we now that we have a big game against you guys, some French the players that are playing in France, they are coming back to Portugal. So yeah, they're going to be important for us. But they are still young, so new players, a new coach. So it's changing a little bit.
Who in the Portuguese squad that's travelled to Scotland would be an exciting player for us to watch? Who do you think is someone that could play at a higher level?
I think Starty, the wing, he's playing in Stade Francais. He's an amazing player. Unfortunately, I think Rodrigo Marta is injured, so I don't think he traveled with the team. So both centers, the captain Tomás and Zé Lima, they are still playing. So they were core players for us in the last 5 years. The number 12 and number 13, they're quite good, but still amateurs. Although José Lima, he played in France a couple of years now. He's back in Portugal. The captain Tomás is still amateur. So I think the wing Storti is an amazing player. He's already playing for Stade Francais. So last year was a top try scorer in the Pro D2, so in the French second division. So he's an amazing player. I like him a lot. And yeah, so I think number 9 and number 10 are very young. They played in France as well. Although they are Portuguese, the mother is Portuguese, but they are half Portuguese and half French. So, but they are very young, but very, very good players. So, yeah, I like number 9, number 10, and the wing is amazing. Storti is an amazing player. So, I think it's the guy that you need to talk about.
I think everyone can guess that you weren't a forward, Pedro. You've hardly mentioned anybody that plays number 1 to 8. You mentioned hooker. That was it. I love it.
So against Scotland, I played fullback on the World Cup 2007. I played all game number 15. So as I did on that World Cup, but I was almost I have more caps in fullback than in scrum half. So I played 82 games for Portugal, so I would say 17 was fullback, and then the rest was like number 9. I played some games at number 10 as well, fly off, but all my good memories were when I was playing at fullback. Yeah, for Portugal.
And when you played for Portugal, you played against Czech Republic, you played against Belgium, and then how does that help you prepare for a World Cup? You go from, I don't know how many people watch those games, and then you go to a World Cup. It must have been an incredible experience.
Yeah, incredible to see a stadium full of Prague, full of Portuguese was amazing. As I told you, I still remember the entrance of the stadium against Scotland was crazy. So we used to play the big games that we played against Georgia and Romania, but the stadium is not full. So when we play at home, I will say. We play in a small stadium, so nowadays when you play against big, like last week we played against USA, and I think it was like I don't know, not too many people watching. So we still start because the big teams are based in Lisbon. So if you play the abroad that we played in Coimbra, it's like 1 hour and a half from Portugal, from Lisbon, and the crowd we played in a big stadium, but it's less than half. The stadium was not full of Portuguese, so it's hard to ask.
Have we got a sellout, Gav, for the game?
We don't. It's. I was actually looking at this earlier. Portugal played at Murrayfield in a 1999 World Cup qualifier in front of a crowd of less than 6,000. So I'm delighted that will be more than 55,000. There's 55,000 tickets certainly sold for Saturday, which is great. And let's hope that in the next few days that number nudges up towards an over 60,000, which I think will be great. And I think probably a great experience for what sounds like a really young Portuguese team as well.
How do you prepare, Pedro? How do the squad prepare? Do they analyse Scotland or do they just focus on Portugal?
No, of course they did. Yeah, nowadays it's different. So we have two guys that all they do is that they analyze the games we're going to have. So yeah, it was this week. Last week was focused on USA. This year was focused on Scotland. So yeah, nowadays we're still amateurs, but the coaches are all professionals. So we have a analyst that analyzes everything. So yeah, it's nowadays completely different. So the players are still amateurs, but the staff it's all professional. So they prepare well the game. So it's not like some couple of years ago that we didn't knew what the other teams are going to do. But nowadays it's completely different. Yeah.
What would be a positive outcome from the weekend? What did Portugal want from this? Obviously a win, but what's going to be a positive step forward for Portugal?
Yeah, of course we want to win, but I think that's nowadays it's almost impossible. So we want to keep playing a good rugby like they did in the World Cup. So I didn't saw the team yet that's going to play for Scotland, but I saw the game last week against South Africa, and the team is amazing. So I don't know if they're going to make a lot of new guys coming in. So I don't know what the team is going to present. But our team, it's a strong team. It's not all the players are there, but the core team is there. So I don't know. I think to try to compete for until the end of the game, but a close game will be good for us. If we manage to score a couple of tries, will be good for us. And yeah, to try to suffer as least as possible. So that's our main goal.
Will people in Portugal be able to watch the game? Will it be on TV in Portugal?
Yeah, that's going to be on the TV. I know a couple of friends travel to Scotland, so I think we'll have a couple of proud people from Portugal. So yeah, it's a big venue for us. So amazing, your country is amazing. So it's nice to make both things. So to travel and see a good game of rugby. So that's very good.
Pedro, you mentioned there the team that Scotland are likely to pick. I think that a lot of the noise coming from Gregor Townsend and his coaches is that they will make a lot of changes. How does that work from a Portuguese player's point of view? Are you disappointed at not being able to play the likes of Finn Russell, or is there a wee bit of relief there?
No, I think when you play rugby, you want to play against the best guys in the world. So if Finn Russell is not going to play, of course, it's good for the team. But for the players, it's not good because I think you want to see how you play against the best in the world. So Finn Russell is one of the best players in the world. So I think they will be unhappy if he's not there. So it's like if you play against at the time at United and Ronaldo didn't play, it's a mess for the other guys. Of course, will be good for the other team, but you want to play against the best ones. So it's of course you're going to make new guys coming in, but in the end it's still Scotland, so still all professional guys, so it's going to be tough, but we prefer to play against the best ones and neither to play new guys. So yeah, I'll say it's a mixed feelings.
And what is having a game against as a kind of Six Nations team away from home? Is that kind of just deserves for the performances at the World Cup?
Yeah, like we did, we managed again in the World Cup. You saw our games. I think we have competitive games against Australia, against Fiji, against Georgia. So I think we played really well. But at the time, they were like focused only on the World Cup. So they were like for 3 months they were professionals. Nowadays, there are some players who are still working during the week, and then they travel to Scotland. So it's not the same that just be focused on rugby. So still a lot of players being amateurs. So it's good that I traveled today. They still have a couple of days to enjoy the weather in Scotland, and then and then to play in a big stadium full of the crowd will be amazing for the players. So yeah, it's almost like for us, it's almost like we play the World Cup. So it's not a World Cup, but for the players, it's going to be almost the same.
What does Portuguese rugby look and feel like? With you had a French coach, you've now got Simon Mannix, a Kiwi coach. What's the Portuguese identity? The forwards in the World Cup, to run Georgia so close. The forwards were very physical. To beat Fiji, you have to cope with how physical they are and how, difficult to plan against Fiji, and then you have tough games against Australia and Wales. But Portugal seem like they play with a lot of pride. But what would be what's Portuguese rugby known for? What can we expect from them against Scotland?
I think it's a attacking style of rugby. So with the French guy was like that, and now with Simon is the same. So we like to play. We like to play the ball. We like to have the ball. So I think when I used to play, the problem was always the forwards because we have a small pack. But nowadays, you saw our games, even against Wales, even against Georgia, we managed to tie against them. So the scrums and the lineups were always our difficult. But nowadays, I think we have good players. We have big players as well. So, but our focus it's attacking rugby. So we are good tacklers, and we like to have the ball. So I think we like to entertain the people, and that's the way that we like to play.
How many of the squad involved this weekend or in the 15 squad have been part of the Sevens program?
I would say only two guys. Only two guys because it's the main focus now. It's the 15th. So we have José Lima. He's back to Portugal, so he's professional, so he can make both of the 7s and 15s. But almost the other players are all focused on the 15s. Try to manage to make the next World Cup, and then that's the main goal. It's the 15s, and then if you can. We try to have like 2 or 3 players that are with the 15s team, but it's hard. It's hard for us because this year we're going to play 3 tournaments in the 7th circuit to try to manage to enter on the international circuit. But it's hard. It's hard because the players are all amateurs. So and the best players, they are all focused on the 15s. So it's for the 7s guys. It's almost try to get new guys. Young players, and then developing them, and then one day they will play with the 15 team. That's the main for any player.
How do you recruit players in Portugal? Where are the places where rugby is strong, and how are you growing the game in Portugal?
The main teams are all based in Lisbon, so we have 5 good teams in Lisbon. That's the big teams. Then we have 2 teams in the north, so the 6 good teams are in Lisbon, based in Lisbon. So they train the national team. They played in Lisbon, so all the players, I would say 95% of the players are based in Lisbon, and then we have the French guys that they come. During the week, so some players arrived last week to play against USA. So they now stay here in Lisbon to play against Scotland. And then, but the focus it's more in Lisbon. The big clubs are in Lisbon, but again, some teams in Lisbon they have professional players that we go to pick them from New Zealand or from Australia. But the rest, my team, for example, we are 99% Portuguese players. So we have one Argentinian guy, a prop guy, because we don't have a lot of props. But then the rest are all amateurs. So it's how the rugby is in Portugal nowadays.
And playing games against Scotland at Murrayfield in South Africa and being in the World Cup, is that helping with the exposure of rugby? Are you finding more people are aware of it and interested and want to play?
Yeah, of course. So before when I played the World Cup 2007, where it was a big boom on all the teams in Portugal. So a lot of young kids are starting. They all play football, soccer, and then they try to go into rugby. So it was a big boom on rugby. Now with this World Cup again, amazing games. First win against Fiji. So yeah, it was very good for Portugal's rugby, but all the focus is in football, so it's hard to get money from the big companies in Portugal. So yeah, it's still a big gap between like Portugal and Georgia, for example. They are professional, they all play in France. So we have a couple of guys moving to France. That's the main goal, to try to put the players playing abroad. And yeah, we get before after the World Cup we managed to get some players to play in France. That's our main goal, I would say.
Pedro, you
Edwin,
mentioned
sorry, go for it, Gav.
before we came on, you mentioned that the World Cup in Australia being the kind of short to medium term target, but longer term is developing Portuguese rugby into something like Georgia, where people are talking about them being part of the Six Nations and all that kind of stuff. Is that the long term ambition for Portugal, or where does it stand?
To be honest, I think it would be very hard, because Georgia nowadays, I think the sports in Georgia are number one. So they are number one. It's not football; it's rugby. So in Portugal, as you know, football it's the god. So and the other sports are not as attractive as this football. So I think it's try to compete. If you compete nowadays, you still our main competitor, I will say, Spain. The championship in Spain, they are already professionals, so they have big players playing in France and a lot of professional players playing in Spain. So I think Spain are one step ahead of us because they have money. So without money, it's hard to convince players to be professionals. So they are still amateurs. So it's hard when you study, or you are an architect, or you are a dentist. So the captain is a dentist. So he works during the day, and in the evening he goes to the training. So it's hard to compete against the big teams, but we're doing our best. We try to get some money from sponsors, but it's not easy. So to try to go to the World Cup in Australia will be a back-to-back for us, and will be a huge thing for us, for the Portugal Rugby Union, and that's our main goal, is now to focus and try to go to Australia.
What's your
Mentioned that.
memories? Sorry, go for it, Gav. Keep
I was
stepping
just
on
going
your
to say,
toes.
you've mentioned that 2007 game a fair bit, but you mentioned the stadium. And what are your memories of the game itself and afterwards? You know, you got a Scotland player's jersey or any of that kind of stuff? And then you
Yeah.
obviously played the All Blacks the week after.
Yeah. So the first game was against Scotland. Of course, I managed to swap the my shirt. So it was amazing memories. After the game, we were with all the players. We were having a beer with the players, and then the week later, we were playing against the All Blacks. Just I saw the Aka just in front of me, so that was amazing memories. But to be honest, the game against Scotland was even better because it was our first game. So it was like a big boom for us to play in an empty stadium with a full crowd. Was really amazing. I still remember when we managed to arrive at the stadium, to see all the fans from everywhere, but a lot of Portuguese fans at the World Cup there at the time, and it was amazing memories. So yeah, first game against Scotland, then the second against New Zealand was crazy. And then I played. Fortunately, I played the whole game against Scotland, against New Zealand. But against New Zealand, the players that didn't play that game, after the game, they played a football game, and we beat New Zealand. So in football, we beat them. And then Carter, he played that game, so we beat them 3-1. So football, I didn't play. I played the rugby, but I didn't play this football. But yeah, you probably
Make
don't know
every
that
victory.
story. Yeah. So yeah, they beat us in rugby, but we beat them in football. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Love that is absolutely brilliant. I love that. What was your first touch like, Pedro? How did that go when you played against Scotland? What was your first touch like in a World Cup?
Amazing intensity. The intensity was amazing. So I was the smallest guy in the pitch, or like I always did, almost in all the games. But I remember the Lamont brothers. They were very big guys. So it was a tough game for us. But I remember when we scored our first try. It was a good friend of mine that scored the first try, also named Pedro. And yeah, the feeling was amazing. Like we scored one try and we thought that we won the World Cup. So yeah, so it was crazy. That time we wanted to score as much as we could, and we wanted to suffer as less than 50 points. We didn't manage, but yeah, I think it was 58 to 10, I think. So yeah, it was very good memories. But nowadays the rugby, I think Portugal played much better than when I used to play. So I hope they will do a better result than we did, because that's many years ago. So yeah, I'm confident that they will make a good result, but I don't know. It depends which team guys going to choose. But yeah, it's a big gap. It's a big gap still between you and Portugal.
I love the feeling of scoring a try. Everything else, you forget everything else. The try, that feeling, and this weekend, the players who come to Murrayfield to score at Murrayfield in what's hopefully, 50, 60,000 people. Murrayfield, the national anthem, away fans and teams like being there for Flower of Scotland. It's a moment that they remember. For someone to score at Murrayfield, will they return as a hero?
Yeah, almost as a hero. Yeah, like when the guys they beat Fiji, when they come back, they were like heroes. So they are heroes for us. So yeah, I have the chance to play there. The Murrayfield, it's amazing. I played with the Portugal Sevens, and the crowd wasn't full at the time. But if it's going to be full Saturday, it would be amazing, and I'm sure that they will love to play on a big stadium. Murrayfield, it's an amazing stadium, so the atmosphere will be amazing. Unfortunately, I will be not there, but yeah, I will see it from home. But it's going to be amazing for the players, because some players are going to be the first time that they play a big team. So a lot of players they didn't play in the World Cup. So yeah, it'll be fantastic to them, and I hope they will enjoy it as much as they did in the World Cup. So yeah.
Love it. I absolutely love it. Gav, thoughts for Saturday with the selection in Scotland? You've been in camp and hearing what's going on. What's your thoughts for Scotland selection? Maybe give Pedro some insight.
Yeah, look, I think, as I said earlier, I think we will make a lot of changes. I think probably Finn Russell, Duhan Fanamerva, Sione Tuipulotu will all have their slippers on for Australia next weekend. But look, Scotland have got, as the summer tour proved, against America, Canada, Chile, and Uruguay, who were another one of the kind of surprise packages a bit of the World Cup. That Scotland have got a strength and depth that I suppose Portugal would be fair to say don't. So whatever team Scotland put out, likes of somebody like Adam Hastings will probably come in. You look at Stafford McDowell, Aaron Reid played in the summer. Like there's a lot of good quality full-time professional players there. So yeah, look, I think it could be a long afternoon for Portugal given the change in their squad, but let's hope it's a great game.
Pedro, what would be your prediction for a score? Are you tell me? You can give me two scores: one with your head,
okay,
and one with your heart.
Okay, so first I would say victory is Scotland 35-19. So that will be a good result. I will say that we'll score. Hopefully we score like 2 or 3 tries. That will be amazing for us. But yeah, a good result for us will be like 20 points difference. So I will happy if we manage to do that. So yeah, it'll be a good game for us. So hopefully hopefully we don't score more than 50 points, and then we try to do our best. So yeah. let's see.
And when you're watching, do you watch it at the rugby club? Do you watch it at home? Where will you be watching the game?
I think this one probably. I don't know if you're going to be one of the guys to comment the game, so I don't know yet. So, but probably I will see with some friends. So, or at the my rugby club, because we have a game. We have a game also from the championship on the weekend. So, yeah, I'll probably to see on our field in Direito in Lisbon. Yeah.
And you were telling us before we came on air, at the moment the Portuguese championship is being delayed while the players are away with the national team. So this is a chance to grow the number of players exposed to a good level.
Yeah, exactly. So in my team, we have like 8 players playing in the national team. So it's good for the guys that they are not used to play on the first team. So that's what we are doing now, putting some young players playing and try to do their best. And then in 2 weeks from now, the championship starts when we have all the international players. So yeah, it's they did this just because of the unions, because of the 15. So they are all focused on the national team, and then in 2-3 weeks they all focus in the Portuguese on their teams in Lisbon. Yeah, so that's main goal now. It's Portugal national team, and then they come back to our club.
So you watch and hope that they play well, but also they come home safe and fit and healthy, so they can play for you.
Exactly. And if they play well, they will play as well for the club. So yeah, it's a big gap, big difference between the Portuguese Championship and the higher level. So playing in Murrayfield, it's totally different to play in our stadium. So yeah, it's amazing for the players. I hope they will enjoy as much as they did in the World Cup. So yeah, be very fun. A big stadium, big crowd, amazing team. So yeah, hopefully they will enjoy it and make a good result for us.
Will you send them all a message on Saturday morning?
Sure. Yeah, I know all of them, so yeah, it's a big game for them. They will enjoy it, and hopefully they will get a good result. Yeah.
Love it. How good, Gav? How good?
Brilliant. Amazing. Thanks very much for your time, Pedro. Great to have you on.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. Good luck
Thank
for
you,
Saturday.
Pedro. Absolute pleasure to speak to you. All the best, my man. And there's a bit of us all supporting Portugal as well. We want Scotland to win, but we want Portugal to do well, I promise.
Exactly.
Do you know, Bruce, actually just on that, I remember I was at the 2007 game, and it actually felt incredibly like that in the stadium. There was obviously so many Portuguese fans there, but every French fan was a Portugal fan, and you know it was amazing to see the support and how that's grown, and then at the World Cup last year. So I'm sure there'll be Portuguese fans at Murrayfield. So let's hope it's a great occasion.
Yeah,
awesome
for sure. Yeah.
Thank you both. Tune in again. You'll catch us talking about Scotland and about Australia, and there's lots more to come in the future. I'm Bruce Aitchison from Happiness Egg Shape. He's Gavin Harper from Scotland Rugby News, and this legend is Pedro Leal, Portugal superstar. Speak to you all soon. Look after yourself. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.